And away we go. Hi, everybody. I'm Taylor Morgan. How are you? Live in lockdown from my guest bedroom, which like over here and over here. Wait, small arms. Over here and over here. Normally there's my my exercise equipment, but I was told that when you do these broadcasts from your home to remove the clutter. So I took the clutter away. I put this thing behind me that shows that we're in day 39 of dine-in lockdown. And just so you know, this is how much toilet paper I have left. Maybe in a couple weeks, I'll be asking you to send me toilet paper because who knows? And I know there are toilet paper hoarders out there. Sharing is caring. Anyway, I just wanted to help local restaurants, and that's why I decided to do this show. For 18 years, I've been trying to help the local restaurants in South Florida, and I did it by doing a radio show back in 2001. It started on WBZT radio. And it was so much fun. It was called Taylor Morgan's Dining and Entertainment Show. And we would have local restaurateurs in the studio. This was way before Facebook or anything like that. And they would come into the studio, and my co-hosts, Carl K., the movie dude, and Terry N. Turner, TNT, she's dynamite. We would have so much fun with these local restaurant owners. They'd bring food. We would eat it on the radio and get all messy and everything, and it was wonderful. And we also had some live entertainers on. So that was 18 years ago. And from that grew my business, localdines.com. And so for a long time, I've been really a friend to a lot of local restaurant owners. I've gotten to know so many great people, and man, what they're going through right now, what we're all going through right now. But as you know, my passion is the restaurant community. So 2 weeks ago on Sunday, I was in my little room and I was going through some boxes and stuff. You should see what's around, like on either side of me. There are like 400,000 boxes. I'm not going to show you that. And so I was going through some boxes and I found this ad. And I'm going to introduce you to Ruby in a second. She's doing all the backstage stuff. But Ruby, if you could put up the ad that I found. It's a magazine ad. And it says, "Dining out, tune in." And this was an ad for my, oh, okay, there we go. It's right there. This was an ad for my radio show that was back in 2001. And it says Taylor Morgan's Dining and Entertainment Show. Finally, a live radio talk show in South Florida dedicated to dining, theater, concerts, festivals, nightlife, comedy, celebrity interviews, and more. So I found that ad. And thank you, Ruby. Sorry. I'm on a rug on a wheeling chair, so it's like kind of difficult. And I posted on Facebook, and I said, maybe after this whole nightmare is over, I should bring back my radio show in an effort to support local restaurants. And immediately people started saying, wait till it's over. What are you going to wait for? Do it now. Do a podcast. Do a Zoom kind of thing. So I thought about it. I'm like, yes, restaurant owners need help now. And, you know, with everybody doing their, you know, these live streaming TV shows from their homes, why not? So within 48 hours, I was thinking, oh, my God, you know, it's going to be a big production because I like to have, you know, different guests on. And I also wanted to have a musical guest. So I thought, you know, I'm going to need somebody to help me behind the scenes. And I didn't have anybody. But my good friend, Jim Caruso. Jim, if you're watching. Wait, Pussy Willows behind me. Pussy Willows. Oh, see, I'm like a Sondheim person. He's watching. Thank you, Jim. Well, okay, so Jim Caruso, he was one of my guests on the radio show many times. I mean, we just hit it off. We could have done like 5 hours together. He was fabulous. He does this show when life was normal. At Birdland in New York City. It's called Jim Caruso's Cast Party. And that's Monday night. Everybody goes to Birdland. And Monday night in New York City is a dark night. So, you know, the theaters are closed. So talented, like really talented, famous people go to cast party in New York City when the world was normal. And they get up on stage and it's like this big open mic night in New York. And you'll see people like Linda Lavin will show up, Christine Lavin will show up, Liza Minnelli will show up, Christine Ebersol will show up. Well, now that Birdland is closed, Jim couldn't do, temporarily, Jim couldn't do cast party. So Jim took, and there's a reason I'm telling you all this, Jim took his cast party online, and he's calling it Pajama Cast Party. And so every Monday night, instead of doing it live from Birdland with a real studio audience or a real audience, he's doing it live online. And last night, none other than Kristen Chenoweth was a guest on his show. So anyway, I'm watching the replay of week 3, and I saw that Jim actually had a backstage like producer helper person, and she was fabulous. So I messaged Jim and I said, man, if I'm going to try to do the same show, but I need help. If only I could find, a producer like Ruby, the girl you have. He messages me back and he said, here's her number, call her. And I'd like to introduce you right now to Ruby Locknar. Ruby, fly on in.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Taylor.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
1 week ago today, we spoke on the phone. I told you the concept that I wanted to do, a restaurant show, a show to promote local restaurateurs and some, fun, entertaining things. And you were like, I'll do that.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I think that this show is A, going to bring a lot of joy to people, but B, also help a lot of people and help a lot of people gain exposure. So I'm so happy to be your right-hand lady and your producer for this.
Well, Ruby's got a lot of stuff going on in the background that you don't know about, just making sure all our guests have their mics are working and their cameras are working. And, this is live right now, April 28th, a little bit after it's 2:08. We have a huge lineup for you, but, things could happen wrong. I could fall off the chair. My camera could fall down and you could see what I'm wearing on the bottom. But Ruby's got all the little, she's running the puppet strings from the back, and I honestly could not do it without her. And she's going to be instrumental in getting this show to where we want it to be. And the reason we're doing it is so we can help local restaurant owners with exposure. And the reason, Ruby, that we're doing it 2 times a week instead of just once a week is because we want to give as many restaurant owners the exposure that they need, especially during this time.
Absolutely.
So, it's a big undertaking for both of us to get the guests on and all this stuff. So we're going to say that we're going to do it Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 p.m. till about 3, maybe a little long. If it doesn't turn out that we can do it twice a week because it is a lot of work, then we'll just do it. We'll do it one night a week, maybe for an hour and a half. We're going to play it by ear. And Ruby, I know you're great at that. Ruby's also, speaking of playing by ear, she's a singer, she's a songwriter, and she's going to be my first musical guest at the end of the show. And I am so excited about this.
I'm so excited too. So I think I need to start doing my warm-ups or something. I don't know. This is really intimidating, Taylor.
Not intimidating. You've been singing since what? You were 4?
Probably earlier than that, honestly. I think I was singing before I knew really how to speak.
Wow. Well, we're really excited. She's going to do, I'm not going to spoil it. But I'm not going to spoil it, but she's going to do a song from Waitress.
Which, how fitting for a foodie live stream.
Exactly. We're keeping it in the food vein. So thank you so much, Ruby. I'm really excited. Are we going to go to Mike first, or are we going to go to?
We're going to go to Mike. I think he's all set up. But before that, should I fly in our fancy schmancy other banner that we have?
Let's fly in the fancy schmancy banner while I tell everybody who our guests are for today. First of all, we've got Mike Goodwin. Hold on a second. I have 8,000 papers all over the place. No, that's not the right one. Seriously, paper number 2. Like, I should have memorized this. We've got Mike Goodwin. He's the owner of Crazy Uncle Mike's in Boca Raton. Amazing place. He's going to tell us all about it and what they're doing there. We've got Krystal Agito. She's the blogger from Eat Palm Beach. She did something truly amazing when this whole thing happened on March 20th. We're going to tell you about that. Jessica Zabel, I love her, from Cod and Capers Seafood Marketplace and Café in North Palm Beach, will be one of my guests. Ralph Lewis from the oldest steakhouse in Florida, from what I hear, 74 years old, I think it is. Not him, but the steakhouse. Ralph Lewis is from Okeechobee Steakhouse. He will be joining us a little bit later this afternoon or this hour. And then we're going to do a lockdown libation. Every week we're going to bring on a guest mixologist. And we have Chelsea Lopez from Tipsy Tampa Bartender and Events. But she's not in Tampa. She's right here. She's in Broward County. Wait till you hear what she's doing to help people who want to get drunk during lockdown. She's going to make a drink for us called the Main Squeeze Lemonade, okay? And then, of course, we have Ruby Locknar as our guest doing a song at the end of the show. And, okay, this is really weird. Well, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I'm going to take it from what other people are doing. And they're asking for tips or contributions to help keep shows on, live streaming. Jim is doing it up in New York. So I'm going to do it too. And the show is created. So, and I'm reading, sorry, a lot of things I have to read till I get used to it. I haven't been on the air in 10 years. The show is created to give free exposure to local restaurant owners and the chefs who make up the fabric of our community and its small businesses. It's a platform where you get to meet the people who run the restaurants on a personal basis, and so they can get the word out about what they're doing. So if you like the concept and you're in a position to make a little contribution, it will really help us to be able to continue on like a twice-a-week basis or maybe a once-a-week basis. We're not sure yet. We're going to make it up as we go along. But so far, it's going to be 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2. So by contributing to the show, you're going to help us to be able to help local restaurant owners with exposure. In addition, a portion of the proceeds that we collect from our viewers via tips, contributions, will be donated to a local charity that's helping the South Florida community during the coronavirus crisis. I knew I wasn't going to be able to say that correctly. So this week, our donation will be made to Save PB Food, which uses donated funds to make large purchases of meals and catering from local restaurants, and then they're delivered. The food is delivered to people working at hospitals, people working at fire departments and the police departments. And that was all brought up and thought of by Krystal Agito, who we're going to meet in a little bit. But got to take a little bit of sip of water. Hang on. I'm going to do that a lot. My first guest, let's get right to it. My first guest opened more than a dozen restaurants, bars, and nightclubs from New Mexico to the Las Vegas to the Bahamas. He helped launch the exclusive hip-hop club OPM with Wolfgang Puck in Las Vegas. He's a Harley guy from way back. And he's the guy who always threw the keg parties in high school. We would have been really good friends. So it just stands to reason that Mike Goodwin would eventually open up a place where people could come and watch incredible live entertainment on stage, drink craft brews brewed right there in the on-premise brewery, and enjoy some really, really great food. He found this venue in Boca that used to be Cantina Max and Moonshine Molly's, you know, the one on Federal Highway. And voila, easy as pie, not really. In October 2018, Crazy Uncle Mike's was born, and I'd like to introduce you to Crazy Uncle Mike Goodwin. Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it, Taylor.
It looks like, where are you? Are you at the restaurant?
Yeah, I'm sitting in the restaurant right by the stage, so the stage is behind me. There.
Very, very cool.
Sitting where we mix the coronavirus on a nightly basis right now.
You mix the corona.
Live streaming bands.
Did you say you mix the coronavirus?
Yeah, well, it's a Corona Fest is what we call it. It's our concert series called Corona Fest. And we where I'm sitting is basically the control center for the bands when we're playing, so we can put them online, doing what you and I are doing right now. Yeah. but we do nightly concerts to your couch. We've hosted 19 concerts so far since coronavirus put us out of business. And it's been an opportunity to raise money for bands and to get some food on their tables while they're not able to work. It's also given an opportunity to keep live music alive.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that for me, music is life. Music is what makes me go. And I love it for taking me up and taking me down and making me happy when I'm sad and making me, melancholy when I'm too over excited. And so music is life. And we built our restaurant and our bar, for beer, food, and music. So it's brews, bites, and beats. That's our logo.
Yeah.
Our motto.
So right when this happened, you guys, this show is about making lemonade out of lemons. I always almost get that wrong. And it was like right when this happened, I noticed that on Facebook, you guys put up, we're going to do concert. We're going to do this thing called Corona Fest. I mean, it was like immediate. You guys thought of this immediately as a way to help local bands and stuff while they couldn't make any money performing. So they come live into the restaurant and you stream them and you play it on Facebook.
Yep. And it looks like a concert. It's a live concert. It feels like a live concert when you're home watching it. And it's just our opportunity to give people what it is that they love about our space. We can send them the food to their house. We can send the beer to their house.
Yeah.
And we can send the music to their house. So
yeah,
we've been able to proliferate the brews, bites, and beats, even though it's remotely delivered.
I actually do have a clip of Kat Riggins and her band who did Corona Fest number 10, and we're going to play that in a second. But what kind of music do you have, just so people can, and where do they tune in, and what nights do you have it going on?
All right, so we've been doing pretty consistently Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. We are doing them at 8 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. And the bands are really all local Southern Florida talent.
Yeah.
They're bands that are our main bands that play here on a regular basis that got put out of business when we did. And they're basically our friends and the people that helped us build our business. And now we're having the opportunity to try to give back.
So, Ruby, if you can just get that Kat Riggins on deck. In the meantime, when you opened in October, you did something. I mean, the place is immense. It's 9,000 square feet, people. It's huge. So it's got a state-of-the-art sound system and the stage. It's got an on-site brewery, and you've got, Corey's making all the beers there, like still right now, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's actually he's been away for a couple weeks.
Okay.
But he's planning on coming back starting next week. We did make a couple beers post-closing that we're aging. So they're aged beer products that are going to go in our barrels, and we'll be drinking those in a year or 2 years. But for the most part, he's had a couple weeks off.
So, I mean, the place is so cool. And then as far as the food is concerned, people might think, oh, it's like a nightclubby kind of place. Oh, no. It's not bar food. It is chef-driven, elevated comfort food. Tell me.
It's our fun. It's our fun because, you see the name Crazy Uncle Mike's on a sign and it doesn't scream culinary delight.
Right.
So I believe it's kind of like our surprise. And when you get to Crazy Uncle Mike's and you're expecting it to be, your frozen goodies, and you get crafted foods that are specially made and to order and taste amazing, you realize that there's something different about what our formula is than a typical bar. We're high-end food.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, we just high-end food, high-end beer, high-end music. I mean, we're a casual place with quality product. And I think that's what our neighbors are looking for. They've had enough stuff in places. She
used to work at 32 East. So, I mean, that's a big feather in your cap to have
she is an amazing. I mean, if people don't know Tara Abrams is her pedigree is, she came from the best places, learned from the best chefs. She is 100% into it. That is her life. It's not like maybe a little bit. She's like me. She's a lifer. This is our business. This is our career. And she does an amazing job at it. And I eat her food 2 to 3 meals a day.
Wow.
6 days a week, and so I can tell you that it's healthy. It's tasty as can be. Mm-hmm. And it can be decadent. So not all of it's healthy, but it's, that you got choices and you can take it either direction, but your mouth is always going to be happy no matter which direction you go.
Well, you're great at finding talent, not only in the culinary arts, but in the musical arts. And I picked out a clip of Kat Riggins, who did Corona Fest number 10. And it's only a little bit of Kat, and it's a lot of the blues harp guy because he kills it. And Ruby, if you could play that now and let our guests enjoy it.
One time, shame on you. The shame is mine. Don't get another chance now. Try to talk me down. Oh, we baby, yeah. You done showed yourself to me. Thank God I dodged the bullet. I was blind, but now I see. Come on, play.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh my God.
Kat is great.
That's Corona Fest live on Facebook. That was number 10. That was Kat Riggins. And who was the guy doing the harmonica?
Clay Goldstein. He's an amazing harmonica. He has a band called the Natty Bows, and he plays here on a regular basis as well. But his Natty Bows are the backup band for Kat, because Kat lives in the United States half the year, in the UK half the year. And so Clay and his band are Kat's band when she's in town. Very talented.
When we all get back to normal again, that's the kind of, amazing talent you can see live at Crazy Uncle Mike's in Boca Raton. But until then, it's online. It's on Facebook, on Crazy Uncle Mike's Facebook page. And
actually, let me give you a little insight. If you go to YouTube, Crazy Uncle Mike's YouTube page is going to have better video and better sound quality. So you're going to see it nicer and you're going to hear it better if you go to the YouTube, the Crazy Uncle Mike's YouTube page.
Okay.
When you go there, subscribe to the YouTube page. It helps the algorithms. All this stuff is about building long-term audiences, because I believe that the live music scene has changed with coronavirus. I want you to understand that my restaurant is not the only one that's going to have a difficult time still providing a nightly live music scene, because if we're having social distancing still in the future, we're only allowed to have 50% or less of our occupancy, then it's going to change the economics of music, right? So I'm already working with the bands and looking at the future and saying, how do we keep this going where we can keep you paid, where you can still get a living and the bar can still afford you, right? Because there's going to be a discrepancy in revenue streams versus the past revenue streams, at least for this year, I believe.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at the future. We're talking with the bands. We're working with our friends. They're the people that we hold each other's hands to try to make this business work. And so following these bands permanently online is going to be helpful, guys. If you love live music and you can't make it out, or you don't feel comfortable going out to the bars yet, anytime you see a live stream of a band you dig, throw them $5. It's not going to crush your bank account, but it really does make an impact. If we can get people watching from around the world, then we'll be able to keep live music scene locally a lot stronger.
Yeah.
So it's really about, the little things go long ways, especially when they're done in mass numbers.
Yeah. I mean, you are certainly a champion for the bands. You don't make any money by promoting them, but you got to sell food still. So you've adopted the takeout thing that everybody else is doing and selling booze to go. Tell everybody what you're doing. You've got some really good family menus that people can pick up curbside.
Well, let me give it a little plug. Socially Distanced Supper Club, started by John and Ian in Del Rey, helped the bars and restaurants kind of regroup themselves. They kind of helped teach a lot of us, hey, don't lay down dead. I wasn't going to lay down dead anyway, but when John called me right away, I was like, I'm in. It's done. Let's do it. So the Socially Distanced Supper Club gave us the idea of family meals. And we took it one step beyond. We do a family meal every night we're open, and it's different. And we change many of them on a weekly basis, and some of them remain the same. Like tonight's Taco Tuesday. For $55, you feed a family of 4 There'll be leftovers likely tomorrow. You're going to eat enjoyable, incredible tacos. The stuff that we make, again, this isn't Taco Bell, baby. This is Mama's home cooking. And so tomorrow night we're doing the Socially Distant Supper Club. That's our weekly night that we're doing it with Wednesdays. And tomorrow night we're doing our 420 dinner. So it's basically the puff past the wings. And so we're finishing up 420 month with a little bit of fun. We're gonna get you the best stoner meal you've ever seen with hot wings, grilled cheese and pork sandwiches, nachos. I mean, it's just a decadent meal, and it's a lot of fun. So that's our Wednesday night Social Distance Supper Club. Thursday nights is always barbecue. We actually bought a new steamer that is a giant steamer that we're doing all of our barbecue in, and our smoker, excuse me. And so we've been able to increase and double the amount of barbecue we were doing on a weekly basis because that's very popular. And then we're doing a burger night on Friday nights, and we're doing, different things all the time. So meatloaf specials, but we also still have a full menu. So you're not limited to just what our family meals are daily. You're able to still order off of our main menu as well. And I got to tell you, between Dre, who is the sous chef here, and Tara Abrams, who's the executive chef here, they're the only two in that kitchen. And we're knocking out sometimes 200 meals, 220 meals a day. And so we've definitely ramped up what's our to-go and our takeout. And I think we're going to try to continue doing that once we reopen, because I think there's going to be still a lot of people that are still not ready to come out. But they still want some good stuff.
That's a concern. And when it is time to come back out, we'll have you on again, because there's still so much more we could talk about, like how gorgeous the place is, and but I have other guests too, and I want to give them.
I don't want to take their time up, but I really appreciate you including us in on your inaugural show. I think it's so awesome. I wish you the best of luck, Taylor, on this. I think it's going to be awesome. Let me know how I can help you, spread the word and make it a bigger thing for you, and a bigger impact for the restaurants that you're helping.
Thank you. And the website for so people can see the menu is crazyunclemikes.com. I think we have that at the end of the show. And of course, they can find you on Facebook, see what's going on with the bands. And, stay safe, man. Thank you so much for being my first guest.
Hey, if you don't order from us, order from some local restaurant.
Yes.
Keep your money in your neighbors' pockets.
Yes.
Don't, just support the locals the best you can. I'll tell you, I know there's a lot of compelling food and deals with these other places, but the locals are the ones that you're going to appreciate having here when this is all over.
That's why this show exists. Take it easy. Thank you.
Hasta luego, man.
Crazy Uncle Mike Goodwin. Crazy Uncle Mike's is in Boca Raton on Federal Highway. The exact address, 6450 North Federal Highway, a little bit north of Yamato, on the east side of the road. And you can find their menu and everything that they're doing on crazyunclemikes.com. My name is Taylor Morgan, and this is Tayste Local. It's our first show, and and it's going to go long, because there's so much to talk about. And I'm sorry to my guests if I told you you're going to be on earlier and now you're not. But I'm hoping that you who are watching right now are enjoying it. And I think we just better get right to the next guest. And this show, by the way, is all about people who turned lemons into lemonade. And I got to tell you, my next guest just dove right into it. She started her blog, Eat Palm Beach, 7 years ago, and she has been a champion of local restaurant owners and chefs ever since. We met about, 4, 5, 6 years ago when we were working on the committee for the Taste of the Nation, which is an annual food and wine event to benefit No Kid Hungry. And we still work on it every year. We were working on it this year, and then it had to get canceled. But she's always innovative. And when Governor DeSantis announced that the restaurants were going to have to shut their doors on March 20th, by the way, it is day 39 of dine-in lockdown, she came up with an idea that would help restaurants be able to stay open. She came up with an idea for restaurants who would stay open for takeout. And she would take I'm going to let her explain it. I'm going to let her explain it in a second. It's called Save PB Food, and a portion of contributions, if you'd like to leave a tip, this today, a portion of the contributions are going to go to help Krystal Agito to fund Save PB Food, which helps local restaurants get their food to frontline workers and hospital workers and firefighters and stuff like that. And Ruby, why don't you fly in Krystal live from Palm Beach Gardens?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. I miss you. I love your show so far.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a guest.
I'm excited.
Eat Palm Beach, you created that about 7 years ago.
Yep.
And
2013. Yep.
So you do reviews, you just talk about, the restaurant scene, and you became friends with a lot of people in the industry.
Yeah, it's been great. I feel like that's when all this started, is because it really became like a second family. The foodie family around town is, they're such good people. So we have to fight for them now.
And people who don't, aren't in the foodie realm don't realize that, it is a family.
Yeah,
it really is. And, you've got a great Instagram, Eat Palm Beach on Instagram, always posting amazing pictures.
Thank you.
I'm very, very hungry when I see your Instagram feed.
I know. I'm trying not to put on the COVID-19. We'll see how I do.
But what had you? Actually, I've been pretty good. On March 20th, you just did something amazing. March 20th was the day that Governor DeSantis said we got to close for dine-in. Mm-hmm. And that was the day you stood up a GoFundMe page. Mm-hmm. And you thought of an idea. Why don't you explain it? Because you can do it much better than I can.
So I basically stole an idea that I had done after Hurricane Dorian. A lot of times when there's relief efforts, people get kind of thrown off. They don't know what to do. They know they want to help, but they don't know how. Mm-hmm. And so during that time, I had taken donations and put them towards either supplies that were desperately needed or gas for helicopters. So when this happened, I took the same concept and pivoted it where it was, if people give me donations, I'll pool them into catering orders and get bigger orders going into restaurants. So people thinking that, if I buy a $16 sandwich, I'm not saving a restaurant. Well, if we get enough people to give us $16 and it becomes a $200 catering order, that matters. And so to kind of, some people, not to be mean, but some people don't care that much about the restaurant industry, or whatever the case may be. So yeah. I was like, what's the next, heartstring that we could pull at? And it was our front line. People love our police, our firefighters, our hospital staff, especially right now with everything going on in the healthcare industry. And so what I decided to do is to pool those funds, create catering orders, and then deliver meals to our front line. So from Tequesta to Boca, we've hit almost every hospital in town, as many fire stations and police stations as we can. And so that's kind of how Save PB Food started, was a way to inject cash into these restaurants by providing meals to people who are offering us amazing services during this time.
It's brilliant. Can you imagine being the restaurant owner who is just told you have to shut your dining room? Mandatory.
I can't imagine that.
And exactly. And most of these restaurateurs weren't. They were. A lot of them shut down for takeout as well because they didn't know. You have to now put into place new safety issues. Not issues, standards. Mm-hmm. Wearing gloves and masks and getting the right containers and
it's confusing. It's a whole new set of terminology. What is curbside? Are we allowed to do delivery? Are people allowed to walk in? Or if it's not dine in,
outside on the table. Yeah.
No. Everyone thought that people. I get that a lot with contactless. Is it contactless? And I'm like, well, I don't even know what you consider that. Like, are they allowed to hand you a bag? Like at some point, someone has to contact everything happening. So, it's this weird thing where people hear terms. And so they feel like they have to have it a certain way, but they actually don't even know what any of it means. I got some backlash in the beginning when I was pushing for people to still go out to restaurants to buy gift cards and things like that. Yeah. And they were like, you need to be sending people to Publix and telling them to cook at home. And I was like, nowhere feels worse to me right now than like going to large box retail stores. Right. I still have to go to Publix because I have like 2 kids at home, so we need things. But it's not like I felt I was making people more safe or less safe by sending them to restaurants. And I feel like there was a major disconnect with people realizing these people are business owners and they're impacting all these families. You know, like you have families that, you know, just had children or just bought homes, and now you're going to have to furlough them or let them go. And it's really difficult. And then on top of that, you had the people who wanted to keep working, and you had to be careful for their safety. What if you put them into contact with someone and they get sick? So it was interesting talking to restaurant owners. I had a lot of phone calls that I would hang up and just kind of have to, you know, take like a 5-minute time out and regroup, because it was a very heavy burden that they were carrying with everything going on.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you literally sprung right into action, and you started getting donations on the GoFundMe page. Look up GoFundMe and Save PB Food. And basically you place the order, you pay for the order at a particular restaurant, then you have somebody actually deliver it to the front lines, whether it be a hospital or a firefighter. And I mean, these guys are, not only are the restaurants, you know, making money, but the people who are working 12, 18-hour shifts, who deserve thanks in some way, are getting it, and the smiles on their faces are unbelievable. And you don't know this, but I put a little clip together.
Oh no, am I gonna like cry?
I cry. I've watched it like 5 times, and I cry every time.
Okay.
I want everybody else to see what you've done. And Ruby, if you get that clip together, this is what Krystal Agito has done with her initiative called Save PB Food.
I'm so scared. I'm gonna cry on live. I'm crying. You're the worst thing ever. Oh my God.
You should be so very, very proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you.
To know you. That you are doing an amazing thing, not only to help many restaurants, but
it's so weird. I've had a few people ask me to send them photos, and I lose track of it, because you do it all day and you kind of forget what you're doing, and then every now and then I have to scroll through all the pictures on my phone, and I literally cry every time, because it's like, I think we've done by now like over 70 orders, and it's been, I think, around like $25,000 that have gone into the restaurants. And, you know, it was kind of like, I started it and I didn't even know if I wanted to share it. Would it not be successful? And would I just feel dumb? And like, it was, you know, a waste of time, kind of like how I thought it would be when I started an Instagram. Like, who cares what I'm eating?
Yeah.
And it was, you know, people, they really got behind it. And it's really cool to see, you know,
one girl had an idea, and it grew wings, and it butterflied, and it affected so many people. And you're up over $10,000 in donations as of
just on GoFundMe. Yeah, we have a Venmo set up, and then some of the bigger donations, I try to stay out of the financial piece if I can. So like we had one come through that was $7,500, and I didn't touch that one. I just helped set up the meals and stuff like that. We had another one that was over 600 meals that went out one day that didn't go through the GoFundMe. So it's been a ride, but yeah, it's awesome. It's nice to see it.
And a portion, I mean, we're asking for, you know, because it takes a lot of time and it costs something to keep these broadcasts going, and you know, in support of local restaurants. And so we're asking people for tips, and a portion of our tips are going to be donated to Save PB Food for today's show and Thursday's show. And I'm so happy to be able to help in some.
I hope people give. You know, I know it feels kind of goofy to ask for it, but
it does. It feels
such a great
really
service. Letting people meet Mike and everything. I've been seeing him on the supper club, and it was kind of cool to hear him talk and hear the background of everything. So I think this will be an amazing service as well for everyone. And I hope it outlives this, because it's fun to watch you. You're very intelligent.
Well, I mean, I have so many friends that are in the restaurant business, and I felt helpless because I had to take down my own business, Local Dines. We've been down 39 days. I have zero revenue coming in, and but I wanted to be able to do something to help my friends in the restaurant business. So I started a show. This is my roots are in broadcasting. So
I love it. And you did it like really quickly, really well. So I'm impressed.
I did it quickly. Could have done it without Ruby in the background though, doing her stuff, man. So if Save PB Food and Eat Palm Beach weren't enough, because I'm going to run really long, I'm going to ask you to do give me
I'll go super fast.
1.5 minute version of what's going on with the socially distanced supper club. You took over the North Palm Beach chapter, and it has been amazing for restaurant owners.
It's awesome. So kind of like how Mike mentioned it, John and Ian down in Delray started it, and it really took off. And so I kind of been watching it, and I had so much going on with APP Food, and I was like, someone has to do North County. So I ended up teaming up on the North County page. And then since then, we also have Boca, Boynton, West Palm Beach, Wellington, all have their own pages running. And so basically you join on Facebook, and they're creating special menus, and it gives us a chance. We call it a flash mob, but it's still very socially distanced. But it basically on like a Wednesday night, they'll offer a special menu. And the goal is to get them as many orders as we can so that they can plan accordingly with their staff and with their inventory and everything, and give them just like a really good night of the week. We talked to some of them, and if they have a good enough week, it pays the payroll for the week. So you know, it's a big deal. And again, it's a way that you can buy a $20 meal but make a major impact. So it's kind of finding, you know, fun ways to make it that the money can kind of expand what it's capable of doing.
Yeah, I found oh my gosh, not Elena's, something's Anzi.
Yes, the catering company. I never heard of them.
I didn't either. And this is the power of this. They're right down the street from me in Northwood.
Amazing.
And they actually delivered, and I had a wonderful beef brisket and scalloped potatoes with this incredible cream cheese sauce and a brownie and asparagus the size of that, huge. It was amazing.
Awesome.
And they delivered it. It was $25, and I had enough for some leftovers, and I was helping to, you know.
It's wonderful. I thought I knew everything around town. I've discovered a couple restaurants during the process, which is kind of rare. So yeah, it's kind of been a double down. It's nice getting the people to also have, you know, it's a lot of members now. I know we're over 5,000 in North Palm. They're about to hit 10,000 in Delray. So even if you're not a featured restaurant, just exposure wise, you have a bunch of people hungry within, you know, a pretty small radius because we keep them hyper localized. It's a really nice marketing opportunity for the restaurants.
So you just go to Facebook and you just type in the search bar, socially distanced supper club, and it'll come up. Wellington, Boca, Boynton has one, West Palm has one, North Palm Beach. I think, didn't somebody just open one in Broward?
I think so. There's one in Jacksonville. There's one in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
So it's kind of expanding. I think they have a couple going national too, like in Denver.
Two guys had an idea. See, this is all about people having an idea. Making lemons out of lemonade. No, I always get it wrong. Making lemonade out of lemon.
Whatever you want to do. Fine.
So, who's Charlie Sue, Tele Thai? He's doing a night this week.
He's Wednesday. He's tomorrow.
Yeah. So,
so good.
I love him. I love Mama Sue. I love Papa Sue. And so what you would do is you go on to
the Facebook page, look up the menu for tomorrow, and you order in advance. So it's typically about today. So if you wanted for tomorrow, you'd order today. And then some of them extend their hours depending on, you know, how capable they are. And if they have enough of the inventory, ingredients, and everything, they'll let you order day of.
Okay, so look up on Facebook, Socially Distanced Supper Club in your area. And Crystal, amazing job with Save PB Food. If people want to find and donate right to you, go to GoFundMe, and then you can search Save PB Food.
Yep, and the link's on my Instagram, Eat Palm Beach, and it's on my Facebook also.
perfect. And again, any tips that we get today, a portion is today and Thursday's show, a portion is going to go to your effort.
You're amazing.
The only reason we're asking for tips is because, you know, we're helping. It takes time. And, you know, Ruby, as wonderful as she is in the background, you know, I can't ask her to do this for free. She's doing work back
and
there.
that's a value. I like it. I've seen people doing, you know, live music, asking for tips because they can't, you know, go around town. So you gotta do it where you can.
And like I you know, Local Dines has not made one dime since March 21st, actually March 20th.
Crazy.
So, you know, otherwise I would sponsor the show myself, but
that was a classy move though. I liked it that you didn't just try to, you know, get gift cards out there, not sure what would happen with them.
No.
That kind of stuff. So it was, you know, I commend you on that.
I was going to talk about that later, but I might as well talk about it now since you brought it up. Because a lot of people were saying, why don't you keep selling gift certificates? And I said, well, number one, my certificates are for dine in. Mm-hmm. So, and then people were saying, well, you know, sell them now and the people can go to the restaurants later. My fear was that I don't know who's going to make it out of this.
I was the same. In the beginning, I was telling people, go buy gift cards, but go buy gift cards. And then when I realized how long this is going to go on, I was like, I might be asking people to buy money to nothing.
Right,
and,
exactly.
You know, it's harsh, but it's a reality.
I didn't feel right taking people's money to pre-buy a certificate to a restaurant that I didn't even know if was going to be open when we come out of this. And then I would have to do refunds, and I don't want to, you know, be all that noise. So I took all my inventory off Local Dines. 18 years in business, I took all my inventory off. We have zero money coming in. Trying to get the PPP loan, so because I had to lay off my girl.
Back. No one's resilient like Taylor. I've learned nothing. No one's resilient like Taylor.
Can you please tip me? Buy something other than wine.
Like, tip me with wine, please. Oh,
some of the money's going to go to Save PB Food and keep up the good fight. You got. Oh, you're so amazing, Krystal. We'll have you back another time when we can actually go outside again.
I love it. And I'll sit next to you. It'll be great.
Oh, and we can. Let me give you a socially distant hug.
Big one.
Oh.
I love you. Have a great day. Have a great first show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We've got a really long. I apologize. This is what it is. Is anybody enjoying it?
Oh, Taylor, I'm flying in for 1 second. Your audio is a little muffled. Oh, wait, say something now.
Hello.
Oh, I fixed it. Okay, flying out.
How? She's on a broom? She has wings. She's amazing. All right, because I know we're going along, I'm not going to go to my next thing. I'm just going to go to. Oh, I love this girl. My next guest was just a baby when her father, Steve Guyland, opened his seafood retail marketplace on PGA Boulevard out near I-95 in 1984. Steve would commute from their home in Miami to Palm Beach Gardens every day until he moved his family north, and of course his store thrived. Jessica Zabel grew up in the business, and in 2012 they moved their store on PGA over to US 1 in North Palm Beach, and they added a cafe to their seafood marketplace. It's been a huge success ever since. Jessica is now marketing and operations manager for her family's business, Cod and Capers Seafood Retail Marketplace and Cafe, and that is a mouthful. And you will get a mouthful when you go there of delicious fresh seafood. Jessica, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hi, Taylor. Thanks for having me.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Good. I miss you.
You know, I was thinking the other day, thank God for Facebook, you know?
I know.
It's really helping us connect, not only our businesses, but as people. What did they do in 1918? You know? What did they do?
I don't know.
You know, this show, as you know, it's about turning lemons into lemonade. I got it right that time.
You did.
you guys at Cod and Capers, well, I'm going to go there in a second. Let me just back up. Sorry, just discombobulated for a little bit. Tell me about the business. Your father started this when you were just 1 year old. How did he come into the seafood business? Is he a fisherman?
Yes, he was a commercial lobster diver, and my parents got married, and he was traveling for weeks at a time to dive for lobsters, and he would, internationally, and they lived in Miami. And when my mom got pregnant with me, she kind of gave him the "you can't be gone for weeks at a time and leave me with a new baby" speech. So he kind of made a natural progression into, well, I know this, and let me, sell it to the public. And then slowly restaurants started coming and wanting to buy for, so then the wholesale department kind of blossomed, which today is 87% of our revenue. So the market, which is kind of what it started as, is now just a little bit of it, but is still so important to us. And it's really it's still our pride and joy,
And I know that Charlie Sue, I don't know if he's still a customer, but he was a customer for a very long time. That's 2 mentions for you, Charlie Sue, Tayste Local. They buy, he makes the most unbelievable Chilean sea bass, Thai Chilean sea bass. Does he get that from you guys?
Yes, and the lobster pad Thai.
The lobster pad Thai.
Amazing. So good.
Wow. So your business has been majorly affected, not only in the retail marketplace and in the cafe, but the wholesale thing as well. But always giving back to the community and always thinking out of the box. You guys jumped into action and basically had to turn your entire business around to be able to, and it was more for keeping your employees with a paycheck than anything else when you turned Cod and Capers into basically a takeout operation.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. And we did it overnight, like literally
overnight.
Literally overnight. So the last day we had customers come into our store was March 19th. And that day we did 250 transactions just in the retail market, not including the restaurant. And no one ever comes in by themselves. It's like at the grocery store, you seldom see people by themselves. Mm-hmm. So we had probably at least 500 people in the store that day. And we had taken precautions back prior to that to keep ourselves distance from the guests, but the guests were not distancing from each other, and we had no control over that. And we kind of it was a Thursday, and we sort of just sat back and looked at each other and said, we are part of the problem right now, and we were not comfortable. We didn't feel good about what we were doing. So
wow. And you guys at Cod and Capers, since day one, well, since I've known you guys, and I'm sure before that, such giving back to the community. I remember, I forget which hurricane it was, but when people didn't have power for weeks on end, you guys opened up and said, just come on in, use our power, use our internet. Here's some free coffee and muffins. And I used you as an office. And when the whole thing happened in the Bahamas last fall, you guys were taking truckloads of water and supplies, and tell me about that.
Well, first of all, my family has traveled and vacationed in the Bahamas for years, and it's like our home away from home, and not just a place that we love, but you can't spend that much time there and not fall in love with the people. They're just amazing, amazing people, and they don't have the same resources and infrastructure that we have here. And we kind of felt like that hurricane, it was Dorian, it was meant for us. For all intents and purposes, it was coming here. And I think they took a hit. The Bahamas, is off of our coast, and it's very unfortunate. So we had the ability to help. We had connections, boat captains and boats and fuel companies. We have trucks, we have pallets, we have a forklift, and a lot of connections. So, I mean, we first started off kind of going, ninja style in the dark of night, loading boats with generators and water and things that they absolutely needed for survival. And kind of rode it till the wheels fall off. And then we started packing pallets, and I think we sent over 20 pallets of supplies.
Was that with the Bahamas Paradise cruise lines?
No, actually there's a fast ferry that goes from Fort Lauderdale to Freeport, but you had to have someone had to be with it. That was kind of the catch. And there's a seafood company we work with over there, and his brother was going back and forth with the items to make sure that they really got to the people and didn't end up, in a warehouse somewhere or something like that. Amazing. So we, and that is, we can't even take really the credit for that. I mean, we helped get it there, but people were showing up at all hours with, here's a generator,
wow.
You talk about moving you to tears. Or people just coming in the store going, hey, I heard what you're doing. Here's $500. And
wow,
this community is incredible. And we're just humbled over and over again by the generosity of the people that are here in our neighborhood.
And see, you just said the thing, this community.
Yeah.
Local restaurants are part of the community.
Yes.
You live here. Your family lives here. Your hair looks awesome, by the way. It does. We had this whole hair discussion the other day
We did, yeah. It's amazing. Like, I just woke up one day and there was no more gray hair. I don't know.
But that's why it's so important to support local. I've been touting that for 18 years, and it seems like now more than ever before, people are starting to get it, supporting local. So local families who own Cotton Capers, that's who you want to support. The people who have given back when there are times of need. And so how do you give back? You go and buy some food. They have the freshest fish ever. There is no fish shortage. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I'm so glad you asked, because that is a question that we have been getting. People will call and they say, well, what's fresh? And I'll say, well, there's like 25 different fish in the case. So can you kind of give me some direction? What are you looking for? There was a big article yesterday about supply chain issues in some of our processing plants. And I see how that could happen. Fishing kind of is a socially distanced activity. The guys, they go out on their boat, they work with a crew of 2 or 3 people. They're still going at it hard. And it's important to continue to support them because they're families too. And most of them are 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation fishermen. But there's no shortage. We have only been out of a couple of things, and it's because flights were a little bit strange, flights from up north. But the supply is really good and everything's still fresh, and we're busy. We're moving a tremendous amount of supply. Those people have been locked down for quite some time now and still need to eat. So we've been lucky there. We don't have any issues.
There's actually someone knocking at my door. I've been in lockdown for 39 days. I'm on the phone. I'm in the bathroom. Can you come back? Seriously, this is serious. There's someone knocking at my door.
And I'm over here just
worried. Will you come back later? Oh, please don't let them walk in, because the place is a mess. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, lost my train of thought. Hey, it's live, folks. This is it. So anyway, I have a roll in because I want people to see the case. So right now, you don't let anybody in the shop, right? But you are doing takeout, and you are doing, people can have, their pieces of fish wrapped up, and you even have prepaid meals to go, which speaks to my heart because I can't stand cooking. And now I have even more respect for chefs. Oh my God. How do they do this? How do they do this? Ruby's going to get together. Every day on Facebook, you guys are posting the case of all the fresh fish. I didn't get today's post, but I popped up yesterday's post, and maybe Ruby can pop that in. And our mic is going to mute, Jessica. but
Okay.
we can actually unmute our mic so you can actually tell the people, in case we can't read the little signs, what they're looking at, okay? So Ruby, if you wouldn't mind putting up the fish video. This is cod and capers. What's in the fresh in the seafood retail marketplace right now, or yesterday?
This is just kind of like what we have, what our thoughts and what we're still setting up like we would any other day, whether you're give people an idea of what's really going on inside.
It was hard to hear you because there was music on that, but man, you've got a really amazing selection. And what are your hours and how are you doing the socially distanced thing?
So our hours for the market are 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday. We're doing takeout in the cafe as well. That's 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday, and 10 to 8 Monday and Tuesday, it's 10 to 6.
Okay.
And Wednesday through Saturday, it's 10 to 8. But the market's 10 to 6 every day. We had to shorten our hours a little bit. But basically the way that it works is you arrive in the parking lot. There's instructions all over the building, but you call us from the parking lot. We take your order, we take your payment information, your cell phone number. We shop, we bring it outside. We don't touch your car or hand you a bag. We are calling you saying, hey, we're about to put this. There's like a pickup area, designated pickup area. We put the bag on the table. We go back inside. You come get it off the table. So our kind of goal there was really just to keep the community safe from us and us from the community so that we can keep this going as long as possible.
Yeah. And people can find your menu at codandcapers.com, codandcapers.com. And I know that this is weird times and some people were kind of being poopy.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Tell me about poopy people.
So our first day doing this was Friday, March 20th. Second time in 13 years in this business that I cried as a result of an interaction with a customer. And it wasn't any one person. It was, imagine, 200 to 300 transactions a day, and they're all taking place over the phone. So that's a lot of people to talk to in a day. And I'm admittedly a little bit introverted, and that's just a lot of talking. But we are, I think, and you and I kind of talked about this the other day, this has opened my eyes to the fact that our society with Amazon Prime and Instacart, we've become programmed to want everything now, the way we want it instantly. We don't want to wait. And it's a shame. I think really the biggest issues that we were having those first couple of days was, well, what do you mean I can't call it in ahead? I don't want to be there in the parking lot. I don't want to wait. And
hello.
That's still, I'm still getting those phone calls even this morning. And it's kind of like there's a method to the madness. And one reason is because if we put it out there and you're not here yet, people are rifling through your stuff. They're touching it. They're walking off with your stuff that you already paid for. There's a reason. There's just a reason. It just works best for us. And I think only business owners know what works best for them. So we definitely had some growing pains, and there's some people that I very sympathetic. This is very difficult for them to to be able to order a piece of fish and get it without seeing it first is a really big,
I didn't
that's
think
a
of
hurdle
that.
for them. And there are people that are for real struggling with this. And there's been a couple people where we've said, I think maybe this doesn't work for you, and we'll see you after. That's a thing. I mean, that's a real thing that people are feeling, and we are very sympathetic to that. And you know, there's people say, well, I'm just supposed to trust you. And I said, well, yes, you are.
And in
You
the
are.
business for 36 years. Hello.
Yeah, and you should be trusting who you're getting your food from anyways. I mean, you should be. You should trust them. So
Yeah. But there's also, on the other side, there's the nice people.
so many
And
nice people.
you have the cards.
I do. So we it's kind of funny, but we can, I guess, you know, sometimes you can only take so much and you have to give it back a little bit, you know, and we have a sign, and we put on there that, you know, nice people will be served faster. And
I think we have that. I think we have that somewhere. Nice people will be served faster.
There's no shame. Yes, there you go.
There it is.
There it is. So there's no shame in that, you know. That's the beauty of being a small business owner, is there's no corporate office to answer to. So we kind of put that out there, and some of our customers saw it and said, oh my gosh, are people not being nice to you? And we said, well, we've had some growing pains, but we're getting there. So within 24 hours, we had probably a half a dozen emails, but I also had all these really very sweet, I mean, we're talking handwritten postcard.
Wow.
A postcard, a handwritten
Who
letter.
does that anymore?
I know. And 3 of them in the same day. Someone dropped off like a bunch of peeps for our employees at Easter, because we worked our butts off over Good Friday and the day before Easter. So there are just so many more good people in the world than there are grumpy ones. And I think this proves it. And this is our why. And it's funny because after you asked me to have them handy, I was looking at one of them, and she's they're a good customer, and she put in here, stay at home weekend because you don't. And I know, but I mean, this is why we do it. You know, it would be easier and less. It's very expensive to operate this way.
Yes, it is.
Safer, easier, cheaper to lock our doors for a month, but we're not going to do it.
That's not who you are. That's not who your father is. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
no, it's not. You're right.
You are community. Excuse me, I'm still on. Somebody's knocking. I'm gonna have to go play something so I can go answer the door for. This is crazy. Nobody's come to my door in a month and a half, and there's someone knocking at my door. Unbelievable. Jessica, it's such a pleasure. I just want people to know to go find your menu at codandcapers.com. You change it up all the time, and the fish there's none better. There's none better.
Thank you. And I know I certainly can't speak for everyone, but I mean, my parents and my brother and I definitely thank you from the bottom of our hearts, not just for everything you've done for us, but for what you're doing for the people that we work with. I mean, people like Tally Ty, we love Charlie, we love his parents, Tim at Culinary. I mean, these people, they are these private, hard blood, sweat, and tears people are like our family, and we want them to come through this. So we all appreciate everything that you are doing for the restaurant industry in our area, and you are very special to all of us.
Hug, socially distant hug.
We'll have a cocktail when this is all over.
Oh, yes, we will.
A very well-deserved cocktail.
Yes. And we're going to have a cocktail a little bit later during this. Don't go away because Chelsea is going to make a socially distanced lockdown libation. Okay.
Awesome.
So she'll show you how to do the I forget what it's called at this point, because I can't believe there's somebody knocking at my door. But Jessica Zabel from Cotton Capers Seafood Retail Marketplace and Café at Crystal Cove Commons, formerly known as Crystal Tree Plaza in North Palm Beach. We love you, and people go support their restaurant and their seafood market. You'll find only the finest. Bye, sweetie.
Bye, Taylor. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. All right, let me slide Ruby in. Ruby, can you fly for a minute?
I'm here.
Hi, sweetie. Listen, I know we're going really long, and I thought we would, but there's like a lot to talk to. Are people bored crapless yet?
No, I don't think so. The comments are still coming in. Everybody's so excited that you're back.
Oh, good. I can't see the comments, so I don't know what's going on. Our guests, are they okay with going a little long?
I think everybody's doing okay.
Because we still have Ralph Lewis from the Okeechobee Steakhouse standing by. We've got the cocktail maker. She's our guest mixologist, Chelsea Lopez, and she's going to make this awesome lockdown libation. And then you're going to sing a song for us from Waitress.
I'll sing really fast, I promise.
No, don't sing fast. I mean, I can go live except for the stupid person who's at my door. Can you believe this? I might have to get up and just show you day 39. And then you can just sing something while I go answer the door. Because if they come back again, I might have to do it.
Sure. You know, this is live, people. And this is just what happens.
It's hilarious. Okay, do we have any notes that we need to talk about? Should we mention the tip jar again? Or?
I will fly it up while you introduce our next guest. How about that?
Okay, my next guest. Oh boy, heavy hitter. Very lucky to have this gentleman on today. And sorry, I'm reading a little bit of this because I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. My next guest wasn't even born when his grandparents, Ralph and Norma Lewis, opened a drive-in restaurant on Okeechobee Boulevard in West Palm Beach, where there was nothing but cows and pastures, and that was it, basically. Ralph was told that his restaurant was never going to make it because it was so far out in the boonies at the time that people couldn't even deliver product there. Never mind get there. But on the first night they opened, in October of 1947, there was a 2-hour wait. So I guess there was a lot of carnivores in West Palm Beach at the time. The restaurant was passed down to Ralph's son, Curtis, who ran it and made it into a fine dining, one of the finest steakhouses in all of South Florida. And now it's run by Curtis's son and Ralph Sr.'s grandson, Ralph A. Lewis, who is the proud co-owner of Florida's oldest steakhouse and one of my personal favorites. I can't wait to tell you the story about what happened over there at the Okeechobee Steakhouse. And most recently also, they opened the Okeechobee Prime Meat Market. Ralph Lewis, thank you so much for taking your time and to be on the show today. And I'm sorry we're like a half an hour late.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Great. How are you doing today?
Great. What does your sign say? You can't deposit excuses. No, you cannot.
I make all my managers look at that every day.
You've got such an amazing team. But before we start about what's going on at the Okeechobee Steakhouse, I mean, you have such history. You must have the most amazing stories about, if those walls could talk at the Okeechobee Steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people knew that it was a drive-in.
I know we had curb hop service there. They would bring out a tray with a steak and a martini to your window, so you could have all you wanted to eat and drink while you're sitting in your car. Go figure. That was until 1968 they did that.
Well, you know what? We have some pictures, Ruby. Hold on a second.
Oh, wow. Let me see. That's my aunt in the doorway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's from the late 40s. There's from the 1960s.
There it is, Okeechobee Drive-In. So, Ralph, did you ever consider that this might be the new normal, doing a steak in your car with a cocktail?
No, you know what? No, I never thought we would consider going back to that. And if I wasn't afraid to serve the cocktails in their car, I would think about bringing the curb hop back with roller skates and everything.
Oh, hilarious. I mean, I've been here for 40 years. I didn't even know that Okeechobee Steakhouse was once a drive-in, but I do remember that basically there was nothing west of Military Trail. It basically stopped at Military Trail, and it was cows and pasture. There was no Wellington.
Right. It was like you said, it was so far out. When my grandparents opened the place, no one would deliver that far out of town. And even Mr. Cheney from Cheney Brothers Food Suppliers, him and my grandfather were poker buddies and good friends from the 1930s. And even he wouldn't deliver that far out to him. And so my grandparents bought a van, had to drive into town, which was, along Dixie Highway back then, for about the first 7 to 8 years before someone would deliver that far out of town.
Wow. Was Okeechobee Boulevard? It wasn't even a thing, right?
It was just Okeechobee Road back then. And it was pretty much a dike at that time to hold the water back that was on the north side, because Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard wasn't there. Nothing was there. Right. So it was out. And by the way, we're in the original building, original location. Yeah.
And like I said, if those walls could talk.
I know.
If you've never, I can't imagine anybody living in West Palm Beach area and not having driven by 1,000 times.
Right.
Never stopped in. It's such a beautiful, unique surprise, because you don't realize that it is fine dining with white tablecloths and it. What I love about it, it's like New York, it's like Chicago, it's like Boston. I don't feel like I'm in Florida when I'm in Okeechobee Steakhouse. Was that on purpose? Yeah,
we get that mentioned quite often. A lot of people will say they feel like the Rat Pack's going to walk in.
Yes.
And that's been one of the most difficult challenges I've had as a third generation, is keeping up with the times but still staying the same.
Yeah.
So it's took a little bit of finesse, and challenges, but we've managed to do it. Up until this coronavirus hit on March 20th, we stay on a 4 to 6 week wait to get a reservation all during the season, and about a 2 week wait to get a reservation during the summer. So we're very, very fortunate and blessed. And we're all prime meat. We age all of our own meat. We have all of our own aging rooms in the building behind the steakhouse. So we have our 3 meat cutters on staff. We do everything old school, just like we did 70 years ago. And by the way, we are the oldest steakhouse in the state of Florida.
It is the oldest. 70, how many? 74 years old now?
73. Yeah. Since 19.
You have an anniversary coming up in October.
In October, we will. So after October, we'll enter into our 74th year.
Wow.
Which is very surreal to us. We never really thought about it much till probably the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. So, well, that's because of quality product, quality service. And I have to tell you the story.
Tell me. You wouldn't tell me on the phone the other day, so you got to tell me now.
Okay. So I'm sorry, but I'm a control freak. So whenever I go to a restaurant where the server is not writing things down, I'm like, they're going to get it wrong, because that's my control freak kind of thing coming out there. So my father was a big fan of your restaurant.
Oh, okay.
We used to go there for special occasions a lot. So there was a party. It was my family with my father, and there was a party of 11. And we all had different steaks, different cuts of steak at different temperatures, and different potatoes along with those different steaks. So when our server was not writing down all the different cuts of steak for the party of 11 and all the different temperatures and all the different potatoes, I'm like, they are so going to screw this up. How's she going to remember all that? We got it to the table, and everybody got their right steak, and everybody got it at the right temperature, and everybody got the right potato, and I ate my hat, along with that wonderful filet mignon. Well, are they magic? How the hell do you do a party of 11, not write anything down? That does not compute in my brain.
Well, what I'm not telling you, you were the only table we got right for that whole night. We have some amazing, our staff is phenomenal. We have great staff, and trained, And I love hearing these stories. So this is awesome.
I was absolutely floored. I would have taken $1,000 bet that something at least one dinner would have been wrong, but it wasn't.
Well,
And
thank goodness it wasn't, and you're not here years later to say that it was wrong. See,
it was absolutely not wrong.
But you know, we've won for the last 2 years in a row, best fine dining and best steakhouse in the county voted on by the readers of the Palm Beach Post.
And for good reason. And Ruby, I'd like you to line up the picture with not with the famous chef. I'm just showing this stuff to you.
Okay.
I'm just throwing stuff in. Hopefully she'll know which one it is. Not with the famous chef. Yay! Ralph,
Okay.
tell me about this.
So the gentleman in the middle is named Wesley Thomas. He was a server that retired about 3 years ago, I think it was. He was with us 43, 44 years as a server. He was hired by my grandparents. So he actually worked for all 3 generations. He worked for my grandparents, my parents, and myself.
Wow. And he retired how long ago?
About 3 years ago. Yeah, he started in the early 70s. That was my father on the right.
Yeah.
So amazing person, had a business within the business. He had so many call parties that people would literally wait days just to have him serve them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's family. And that's what a lot of people who aren't in the biz don't understand, that you guys are a family. Every restaurant has their family, and it's their chefs, it's their servers, it's their floor, their seaters. What do you call them? I mean, you guys, can you explain that to people who don't understand that part of the restaurant industry?
It's hard for a lot of people to understand. If you provide a great place for people to work and understand everybody has a life too, and be a little flexible with them, treat people right, treat your staff right, let them know they're part of the business, they're an important part. Doesn't matter if it's a dishwasher to a manager. Everyone's role is just as important. And people love to stay places they feel part of. Mm-hmm. Our general manager, Christine Wishart, she has been with us 25 years. In fact, July will be 26 years. So we have dishwashers that have been with us 30 years.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in an industry with as much turnover as restaurants, it is pretty incredible.
It is, and not just turnover, but in the last 10 years, a lot of new competition coming in and going out.
Right. A lot of new competition, and that's the sad thing about, like, right now, I feel there's a lot of restaurants going to go out, but there's a lot going to stay in here. You're seeing so many good things coming about, like with Crazy Mike, with the creativity. That's phenomenal. And Jessica, that was just on with Cod and Capers, amazing family. They're awesome people, very charitable. So we appreciate everybody. And it takes all of us working together, because we're all in this together. We entered it at the same time. Yeah. We're all going to exit at the same time. And we all have the same amount of experience. So in this, which is very little, 39 days, as you said.
Making it up as we go along.
Right. So we're learning, we're making mistakes, we're fixing them. And a lot of things that Jessica was saying, same things we have experienced or are experiencing. So it's, it's just something we're working through. It's the steakhouse has been shut down 100% now for 39 days. Longest it's ever been shut down in history. I'm the first person that's ever had to lay a staff member off in 73 years. One of the hardest things I've ever done. Pray I never have to do it again. And we got lucky. We got the PPP money. We hired everyone back. So even though we're not open at the steakhouse, we still hired them back. We have them doing tasks and so on. But our meat market is open 7 days a week from 10 to 6:30. We have our barbecue trailer, which is to go barbecue every day from 11 to 6:30 in the parking lot.
Awesome.
A lot of to go, several hundred a day.
Wow.
And we're doing deliveries too. So we're doing steak dinners and a limited menu out of our catering kitchen, which is in another building with free delivery in all of Palm Beach County from Jupiter to Boca. So you can call in the steak, and you can actually call the Steakhouse number. We have it forwarded to our offices. So we're delivering with everything. We're trying to keep the staff going, and actually we are keeping the staff working. So one of the hardest things I had to go through, I had a single mother that works for us come in my office in tears, bawling, afraid, couldn't get unemployment, couldn't get through on that. We all know the horror story there.
Yep.
And right about that time, we got the PPP money and was able to put her back on payroll. So these are things, though, that every business owner is experiencing now.
I don't think a lot of the restaurant owners know that, because some of them have said to me, well, if I have the PPP money, then I can't open. And I'm like, you don't really have to open. You just have to pay them.
Right.
And, if you want to have them do something, do a deep cleaning or something. Take this time to paint. Take this time to do something. Or don't have them do anything. It's just to help them during this.
And that's what we're doing. And we put a lot of them doing deliveries. Deliveries. So that's when we added the delivery, actually. So we put a few more people answering phone calls, added the delivery. I'm on Facebook all the time. As you know, I do a lot of videos. I have a big following with videos. So it gets the word out. That's one thing that I would recommend a lot of the business owners do, get it out there to social media, let them know, look for avenues that are free. And everybody's looking for a good story right now. Put it out. Support the small businesses, the local businesses. And I'm not just saying restaurants. Support all the small local businesses that are able to be open.
Yes. And one of the other things that you guys are doing is you're feeding the Boys and Girls Clubs, and you helped out with the front line at Okeechobee Steakhouse. That's
we've
community.
To right now, right around 2,000 first responders. That's doctors and nurses and paramedics, firefighters, and police. And so we, we're very proud of that. Our staff's proud of it. And by everyone supporting the local businesses, this is what gives the businesses the ability to give back. So when you're supporting, like, say, us, for example, or Cod and Capers, because I know they're very generous.
Yes.
When you support us, you're supporting the community because we're giving it right back. We're spreading it around. Also, we've been helping feed 1,200 kids at the St. Lucie Boys and Girls Club in St. Lucie County. So doing a lot for that. We've given some food to the ER and ICU units at Good Sam, and just doing our part, And I'm saying this to make people aware of it, not to pat ourselves on the back, but just for awareness that every bit adds up and counts.
Oh, yes, it sure does. And just the fact that you had to get creative and do something that was totally different after you had to lay people off, just your resilience is truly astounding. And
well, we're going to hang in here. We're a financially sound company. We're still doing business at some of our companies, even though our main big daddy is the Okeechobee Steakhouse. It's closed. But we'll be open back up. We'll weather the storm. Yes. And we're going to take care of our staff. Number one priority for us is taking care of our staff.
What about the meat market? Is the meat market open?
The meat market's open 7 days a week, 10 o'clock in the morning till 6:30. We sell prepared meals to go. You can take them and heat them and serve them. Desserts. Of course, all of our fine steaks, pork, veal, lamb, and amazing selection of wine. We have 700 labels of wine on our wine list. A lot of people don't know, but the Okeechobee Steakhouse has one of the top wine lists in the country.
Did not know that.
Yeah, we're in Wine Spectator every year. We're just a little bit away from being grand on the grand, which there's only, I think, maybe 2 in the state of Florida, 2 or 3. Wow. So, but we have over 700 labels of wine, and you can purchase those at the meat market as well. And the bottle prices on them are phenomenal. Very allocated wines too.
Excellent. And one of the things that put you on the map to what do I want to say? To families and stuff like that. Is the birthday steak? Do you still do that?
We do free birthdays, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm getting ready to do a video on it, so you beat me to it. But everyone that's called in or anyone that's had a birthday between March 19th and whenever we open, we will honor those birthdays. So you haven't been left out. We're going to make it up to you. So everyone during the time we're closed, you're going to be able to get a free birthday. Last year in 2019, we gave away 9,000 free birthday dinners.
Holy wow.
Yeah.
Well, my birthday's coming up in about 3 weeks, and
hopefully we're open. But if not, you take a rain check because we'll see you.
I most certainly will. Because I miss steak. I miss steak so much. Oh God. Well, thank you so much. And
Taylor,
before we go, you are also on the board of directors of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association chapter. You just had a meeting with the big guys last week.
Yeah.
What is the consensus, and how are you going to open? I mean, when it comes time.
Well, no one has a definitive answer yet. They have a really incredible team advising the governor. Very good mix from small business guys. So I want everyone out there to realize the small guys are being represented. Everyone knows the importance.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sure, but they're probably going to start opening the restaurants within the next week to 2 weeks, with just phasing in a little bit, maybe outside dining, and then move to a percentage of occupancy. We're still not clear because you have 3 different entities to work through. You're dealing with business owners, you're dealing with health, like the FDA and CDC, and you're dealing with the governor's office herself. Right. So it's a lot to get all 3 on board with what will work. And then really at the end of the day, the guests, the public is going to let us know what's going to work.
Yes.
But it's coming soon. We're going to be able to get opened or start getting in phases to get open very soon here in Florida. But I'm just not quite certain on what extent. They haven't really told us yet. And I just want to say that to let people know, the Florida Restaurant Lodging Association has been fighting for everyone. And when they go to bat, my hat's off to Carol Dover. She is the head of it. I spoke with Carol yesterday. She has 2 to 3 meetings a week with the governor himself. She is fighting for us. And when she's fighting for the restaurants and hotels, it's also fighting for other small business owners, because it's all going to fall into the same category, with retail. So they're doing a lot, but it's a lot to deal with.
I don't envy what you're going through. And I mean, it's like I said, the resilience. We were shut down. Day 39. You had to pivot and do something else, and now you have to pivot again. Mm-hmm. And not make it out. I'm very happy that the Okeechobee Steakhouse will, and we will be there to support you. That's what this show is all about: is letting people know that it's the locals. But got to support local businesses. Period. End of story. That's it. When it's time, and if you don't feel comfortable, people watching, going to dine in when they do open, continue to do takeout.
Right. We've been creative. We're going to stay creative. We have a huge customer base, and I'm just basically farming to my customer base. Yeah. And then reaching out to everyone, letting them know that support all the small businesses. We're going and buying food for our staff at other places, at other small restaurants, small places, sandwich shops, bringing it back. Even though we could fix it ourselves, we're still going and buying several times a week just to support other businesses.
Yeah, and so if Stacy just wrote, you just got me in the mood. I'm going to go pick up a few steaks shortly. Now I know that she's out in the Wellington area, but if you're somewhere around the Okeechobee Steakhouse, instead of going and buying your steaks at a market, why don't you go to Okeechobee Prime Meats? Is that the Prime Meats and Steaks?
Okeechobee Prime Meat Market.
Prime Meat Market, which is right kind of behind the Okeechobee Steakhouse,
Yep.
at the corner where Okeechobee and Palm Beach Lakes intersect, because that's still supporting local. And
It's
that's what I'm
supporting
talking about.
local. And, when you support the big box stores, most of the people who are doing that are supporting them based on price.
Yeah.
And that money leaves the community. Yeah, the payroll a little bit stays here. The profits leave. The charity's not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
And really, it's like I've done a video several weeks ago. If you're a big fan of the big box stores and you think that's where you should be, then stay there. You're not my customer. I don't even want you there. I want the customers who have the same mindset, generosity, and understand what it takes to support the community. That's who we want as our customers.
Yeah. Ralph Lewis, Okeechobee Steakhouse, thank you so much for being on the show. And I read something that you said you want to be around to celebrate Okeechobee Steakhouse's 100th anniversary. You will be 84.
I will. I will.
I'm a little older than you. I want to have a glass of wine and cheers to our steak in whatever year that will be.
In 2047.
47.
2000. So 27 years from now, you and I you need to have your little show going still, and we'll celebrate. Have a big toast.
I love it. Thank you so much. Okie Steakhouse is where you're going to find the Okeechobee Steakhouse website. Just Google it. Find Ralph and his videos on his Facebook page. Visit the Okeechobee Steakhouse and the smoker that they got out there, and the meat market if you're looking for a great steak. And we can't thank you enough for everything you're doing for the community and everything you and your family has done for the community for the last 73 years.
We're blessed to be here, and thank you, Taylor, so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Have a wonderful day.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Okay. So we're really, really long. Ruby, are you going to kill me yet?
No, I'm here. I'm not going to kill you.
Nice to be. I know you have other shows that you're producing, and I am so sorry. And I'll condense it more next time. It's just, oh my gosh,
No, it's okay. We're figuring everything out, but I'm sure, for Thursday, our show is definitely going to be a bit more condensed. That way people can tune in for the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for this, I'll make sure that they know that Ralph's segment was at this time and so on and so forth. But we got 2 more segments before we go, and Ruby's going to come back and she's going to sing a song. And are you ready to get your cocktail on? Let me introduce to you right now, Chelsea Lopez.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. She also turned lemons into lemonade. Chelsea's a bartender at The Field in Fort Lauderdale. Great Irish pub. And everybody was laid off on the 20th.
I'm a server at The Field.
I'm sorry.
I love that place. We were laid off after St. Patrick's Day. So 6 p.m. on the 17th.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But you once again, somebody had an idea, and she had a great idea, and you actually had a company over in Tampa called Tipsy Tampa Bartender and Events.
Yes.
And you kind of just pivoted, and you decided, hey, now that they've lifted the laws on being able to sell alcohol, you came up with a great idea, which was?
All right. So, yes, I have my business in Tampa. We're a bartending company for events, weddings. So all my signature drinks that I use for the weddings, I decided to turn into mason jars, cocktails to go. So we deliver them to your door, no contact. You just order on our website. And so there's a list of 20 signature drinks that you can choose from.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're in the Broward County area. And how far do you deliver to?
So we do all the way to West Palm. We go there 2 times a week. We do all Broward and then a little bit of Miami. So we have
Wow.
Yeah. Del
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how much are the cocktails?
So it is $8 for an 8-ounce. That's the size. It's one drink. It's $10 for our 16-ounce, which is about 2 drinks, and then for the 32, it's only $12. So
Wow.
Yeah, this is 4 cocktails.
That would last me one night. And you get to keep the mason jar. That's just so awesome.
And then everyone that works at the field with me, I've kind of put them to work, and they're the ones that deliver them. So we were all out of work, so now they get to make a little bit of money.
And you're making some money to keep yourself alive while while the field is down. And the field is amazing restaurant in Broward. So cool. When it reopens, you got to go there. It's like the epitome of like old Ireland. So cool inside, and that tree outside is awesome too. So you're gonna make our lockdown libation today.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna make for us? I'm gonna slide on out so you can take over.
So this is our most popular signature drink. This is our main squeeze lemonade. It's a blueberry lemonade. So I'm gonna start with putting some blueberries. I'm gonna take a squeeze of lemon. Go ahead and muddle this up. So for the blueberry, I like to use the Smirnoff blueberry vodka. Oops, sorry. We're gonna do about 2 ounces in here for the 16-ounce. A little more if you had a rough day. Keep it going. Some fresh lemonade. I make mine out of just lemon, sugar, and water, but you can use like Simply Lemonade, anything you'd like. So just muddle this a little more. We're going to top it with ice. And just mix it up a little bit. So it's vodka, lemonade, blueberries, lemon, ice, and I think I put too much vodka, but you're supposed to top it with Sprite. So this is a great thing for a summer day. Can't get that lemon out, but you can put a lemon on top and a blueberry. That's our main squeeze.
Well, that sounds yummy.
Thank you.
That sounds so good and so refreshing. And man, do we need it now that we're in lockdown. How can somebody find out about ordering from you?
So you can order on the website, www.tipsytampa.co, or you can go to our Facebook, or you can just email us, tipsytampa@gmail.com.
Okay, and I know one of our friends, Gabrielle, who told me about you. She orders from you guys all the time, and her husband Steve gets the really big one.
64 ounce, yeah.
64 ounce.
Yeah, I've met him through all this, so it's been really good meeting a lot of people. It's been amazing.
Well, congratulations to you for making a lemonade vodka drink out of lemons.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best. We'll have you come back and do another cocktail as we progress, okay?
Okay, appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Chelsea.
Bye. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, I'm Taylor Morgan, and you're watching Tayste Local, and this 1-hour show has now turned into an hour and 43 minutes, and, hey, I'm sorry. Oh, Ruby. Oh,
Taylor.
I apologize to anybody who's bored, and I apologize to you because you were only supposed to do this for an hour. I knew we were going to go a little long, but it went a lot long. So we're going to fix that for Thursday. Every show, I always wanted to have a musical guest. I used to do that a long time ago. I can't sing, so it's definitely not going to be me. So we're going to have Ruby sing a song, and it'll close out the show. Before we do that, though, one of the things that you guys are doing with Jim Caruso's show is the fact that you're asking for tips or contributions to help keep Jim's show, that's Pajama Cast Party, on live streamed. So I figured we'd do the same thing, and now I owe you a hell of a lot of money because she's working overtime.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. But really, I mean, these tips do help because, you know, these live streams are pretty much the new normal for right now. So, you know, and I feel like by staying at home, we're automatically saving a bit more money right now. So, you know, with the money that you would have spent maybe, you know, going to the movies or going to see a concert, you know, maybe put a little bit of that into tipping your favorite live streams. A little bit really does go a long way. So we appreciate every single donation that comes our way for sure.
We do, and it helps us to be able to help local restaurant owners by giving them a platform and, you know, 10, 15 minutes of airtime that can be shown over and over and over again. And that's quite valuable. And of course that we're giving a percentage of the proceeds of today and Thursday's show to Save PB Food. We had Krystal on a little bit earlier. She donates funds to, no, she doesn't donate. The funds that we donate will go to Crystal so she can buy food from restaurants and then have it delivered to the front lines of hospitals and fire stations and police stations. And she's doing an amazing effort with that.
Yeah.
So that's where some of the money is going that you guys will are donating, or whatever the word. I hate asking for, I hate it, but times are weird, you know? And if you can't donate anything, I totally get it. I'm in the same boat right now. And I just want you to enjoy the show and support local. So keeping it in the restaurant theme, if anybody saw Waitress either on Broadway or at the Kravis Center over, and what's the Kravis Center? I'll have the Kravis Center on in a couple of weeks when we figure out what's going to go on with that. But if you've seen Waitress, there's a song in there by Sarah Bareilles, and it just so happens it's one of my favorite songs. I found you, Ruby, doing it on YouTube, and you brought tears and chills to me, and I said, oh, I wonder if she would sing that song to close out today's show, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited.
Take it away, Ruby.
All right. There we go. Hope this track is okay. It's not simple to say. Most days I don't recognize me. These shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be, although it's true I was never attention's sweet center. I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken and won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely. Most of the time, she is all this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I've got you. You're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite an ending or two. For that girl that I knew who was reckless just enough, who gets hurt, but who learns how to tough it up when she's bruised. And and be scared of the life that's inside her, growing stronger each day till it finally reminds her to fight just a little, to bring back the fire in her eyes that's been gone, but it used to be mine. Oh, it used to be mine. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. Thank you, Taylor.
Chills, chills. Oh, that was so wonderful. There's something about that song. She is messy, but she's kind. I'm messy. I'm really freaking messy.
That's the story of my life. So yeah.
And the door that was, somebody was at the door the other, while I was on the air, and I'm like, oh, please don't let that be like the landlady lady and have her come in, because I'm really messy, especially now. No one's coming over, right?
Absolutely.
Who knows it's a mess? No one's coming over.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. Ruby Locknar, that was amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow. Been singing since you were 3?
I'm honestly probably earlier. I've been told I was a very early talker, and probably an even earlier singer. So honestly, it was even before I was 2, pretty much.
Wow. So some people are just born with it, and you are definitely one of them. I was watching some of if you want to look her up on YouTube or Instagram, you can see her name somewhere, Ruby, Locknar.
Yes.
Excuse me. I lost my train of thought. Yeah.
Well, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all under my name, Ruby Locknar. That's the easiest way to find me.
Yeah, but I saw that Kristen Chenoweth pulled you up on stage once.
Yeah, she's a dear friend of ours. She's been in my life for a really long time. So, yeah, one day we went to her concert in Nashville, and we saw her backstage beforehand just to say hello. And she was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to pull you up tonight to sing For Good from Wicked. Is that okay?" I was like, sure. So, I mean, it was truly flying by the seat of my pants, but truly one of the greatest memories that I cherish forever.
Wow. Wow. Well, we're going to make some more memories for you. And I thank you so much. Again, we went really, really long. This was supposed to be a 1-hour show. It has turned into a 2-hour show. We're going to figure that out and condense it for Thursday. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I hope you got some good information about this and got to meet some of the people who make the local community tick. And I please ask that when this is all over, that you please make a concerted effort to support our local restaurants and, of course, all of our local businesses. My name is Taylor Morgan. I'm the owner of localdines.com. We'll do this again on Thursday at 2 o'clock. Hopefully just till 3 o'clock. And we'll check and see how many rolls of toilet paper. Hold on a second. Let me go like this. I have 5 rolls of toilet paper. We'll see how many we have left on Thursday. And thank you again for tuning in. I'm Taylor Morgan. And until we eat again, stay safe, stay healthy, support local.